Welcome to the Beyond Divorce Embracing Change podcast. My name is Michael Flores, and I will be your host while we explore the complex journey of divorce with empathy, insight, and practical knowledge. Whether you're contemplating separation, in a divorce, or looking for support post-divorce, our episodes provide expert guidance, stories, and strategies to help you through every step of the process. We are actual therapists, helping clients who sit on our couches every day through their difficulties of divorce. You are not alone. Join us as we delve in and find solutions that give you hope again. We're glad you're here.
This podcast is not intended to replace legal or personal help. This podcast is for informational purposes only.
Well, welcome back, everyone. This is a fun episode. I'm going to be interviewed by Armando today, and I really appreciate you interviewing me, Armando.
I'd love to do it.
And, well, you did. You jumped in when we're like, okay, someone's going to have to interview Michael on this one, and then you okay, I'll do it.
I had the time.
Is that what it was? Well, I'm glad.
No, I enjoy interviewing Michael. I don't want to sound like that to the listeners. No.
Thank you. Glad you did it. Well, so this topic I think is important. I think it comes up probably more frequently, but not told to us as often. And so either something comes up in the dialogue or the conversation, and then we kind of smell something in a different direction, like something smells different here, I don't know. And so, but I think good clinicians ask about it, and in a very safe way, because I don't want people to be like, oh no, they see me, because then they kind of go back into their, they scurry.
So what is it that you're sniffing?
Well, when people are divorcing, but one of them is still in love. And I think that, of course, the rapport you build with people helps you to navigate that conversation. But I don't think it's something we should stay away from. I remember in school, do you remember when we were in school? I remember the one thing I used to be terrified to ask people is if they were suicidal.
Oh, that is those hard questions.
Yeah, you'd sniff something's odd, and you'd be like, I wonder if they're contemplating death. But you would think if I don't ask them, right, then I won't give them the idea. You would come up with reasons why you shouldn't ask.
Right.
But not realizing that when you did ask, you actually were helping.
So I think what you're talking about is really trusting your gut as a clinician, right? Trusting what you know and not being afraid to ask those hard questions, which I think we're really good at here, is asking those hard questions. So what is that first whiff, right? If you're talking about sniffing, this is going to be a weird analogy, but that first whiff of love, whiff of that first sense, that first spider sense of there is something going on here still.
Well, and I think actually most of the public can kind of sense this too, is when you are so consumed by the pain of the past, right? The first thing I'm thinking is what benefit does it serve you to hold on to that? Right. So yeah. So it might just be that I'm in so extreme pain. There's a parent facilitator, and I don't have her permission to say her name, but she says this a lot. She says, the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference.
I would agree with that. I think, the person the only people that can really, really hurt you is somebody that you loved, right? That you let in, that you were super vulnerable.
Yeah.
And you let them in and they were able to kind of.
Yeah, the pain can be so much deeper, especially when we talked about that. I talked about that on an episode with Jen. We talked about betrayal, because we were talking on a topic on forgiveness, but we talked about betrayal being one of the hard ones for most people. And it's because they love them, right? And so betrayal is such a big one because there is no betrayal if there's no love.
Yeah, because you don't care.
Exactly. So if I feel betrayed, that means I cared. Somewhere along the timeline, I cared. And it's very common that we're working divorce somewhere along the timeline. These people cared about each other. But one of them may not want the other person to know their vulnerability to say, I still care, or I'm still in love. Because if you know that, how could you weaponize that against me? And so they instead of being authentic and I'm still in love with you, they withhold. So as a clinician, I'm getting that whiff of going, something seems off. So one of those is just completely stuck in the past with the inability to move forward. So that's one.
What does that look like on the other end, right? So for our listeners to understand, okay, that's what it feels like if I'm still in love, right? Or I think my my partner or my ex-partner is still in love, what am I feeling, or what is that other?
Just they hate me. I'm in extreme contempt with them. They think I'm the worst thing on the planet. And
so that, like, being bombarded with hate may actually just be like love, like hurt love. I don't know how to use that terminology.
Yeah, that actually could be a person who got extremely hurt by you because they cared a lot about you.
Mm.
And if you were to say, man, I really hurt you. Right.
Wow.
I literally, like, that would be if I could ever tell the other person, not the person who's still in love, but the person who's getting all the hate, if you could just go, I really hurt you.
Wow. That's really, like, insightful and powerful to think about. That, like, that hate that you're receiving is because they love you still, or there was so much love before.
So can I tell a story about a couple I worked with?
You can do whatever you want, Mike.
So well, thanks. This couple came to see me, and they were court ordered for co-parent counseling, not parent facilitation. Facilitation falls under a legal code category. There's certain things that facilitators do that are a little different than counseling. I wouldn't say that it's not like counseling. It's got a counseling, gist to it. The reason I won't call it therapy is because of training, in my opinion. I guess I'm biased there, but I mean, we spent a lot of hours training in this.
They do it a little bit different, too. It's not necessarily always therapeutic. Sometimes it's just...
No, I agree. And so co-parenting counseling to me is therapeutic, and it's meant to be therapeutic, right?
I would agree.
So I have an order for co-parent counseling. It's a young couple. Dad's pro se. Mom has an attorney, but mom's mom is paying for the attorney.
So pro se meaning they don't have an attorney?
Correct. Pro se means they don't have an attorney. They're doing the whole case without an attorney. And the other person, in this case, it was the wife. She did have an attorney. Of course, they both can't afford an attorney, so she was getting support from her family. So long story short, they come in, and he's like what I told you, like that whiff. Like he's just really angry. He's upset. And this is probably second session. I can tell that he's really stuck, right? And she's responding well, but she's just like, this guy's, pardon my language, he's an asshole. Like he's a jerk to her. He's everything things, and she'll say it in the session, So I don't know what caused me to do this, but I guess I thought he would answer truthfully, and I was getting the feeling, and the my little spider sense or therapeutic sense, whatever you want to call it,
the whiff, started the tingle, right? The little antennas, and I thought, I think this guy still cares about her, like he's still in love. And I forgot how I asked it, but I asked something to the extent of, you must have really loved her, or something like that. And I think he said something like, I still do. Wow.
And that took a lot of courage.
Yeah.
And her face changed because she looked at him confused, almost like, okay, you ever seen, when this does not mean someone's angry, but they make the same face when they look angry, but it's like this.
Like confused or not understanding, kind of surprised.
Yeah. If you saw someone just looking at you like this, would you think, oh, they're pissed off? They got that little, like, maybe line right here?
Yes, the face you're making, I don't know that I would think that you're pissed off. I'm sorry.
Well, you know me.
Yeah, that's
okay. But if I don't know the person well and they're looking at me like this, so the first stage of a shift in someone is not I'm angry. I think what it is I can't think of the word I'm trying to use.
Well, I'm trying to process, right? I'm trying to.
Well, you're processing, yeah. So you're kind of like you're in a state of almost maybe confusion, or there's a conflict in you. Yeah, skeptical. That's the word. Skeptical is the word. Yeah, I'm skeptical. So you're looking and skepticism is not anger, but people confuse it as anger. Well, to be skeptical does not mean you're angry, right? Go ahead.
No, you're right, because I think it's the I'm not understanding where you're coming from, and then you get defensive because you're not hearing me.
Yeah,
that kind of
So she's got this experience from this guy where he's treating her this way, right? The a-hole. And so when he says, "I'm still in love with her," skepticism.
She doesn't trust it.
No. And then she goes, "Why are you treating me so bad?" Great question.
If you love me, why are you treating me this?
Exactly.
If you're still in love with me, why are you doing this to me?
Exactly. His response, right, to her is, because I'm hurting and I don't know what to do with it.
Wow, that's awesome that he was being able to be that honest.
Can I tell you what happened with them? Oh, it's amazing. I'm so proud of them. She looks at him and she says, "I'm so sorry that I hurt you that much, but you've hurt me too. And then I said this thing I learned. People set people up to feel what they feel. That's from a lady, I forgot her name, but her last name's Teal, and she's everywhere. But she says people will set you up to feel what you feel.
Yeah. I feel this way, so I want to make you feel this way.
Yeah.
I feel angry. I'm hurt, so I'm going to hurt you back.
Correct. So watch this. In a marriage, your partner is disconnected from you, and you want their connection, right? So what do you withhold from them?
Love, attention, affection.
Mm-hmm.
To make
And then
them...
they get mad and go, why are you so disconnected from me? And you go, what do you mean? I've been here the whole time. You're the one not. You withheld it from them also so that they could feel what you felt. Children do that, and we never lose it as adults. So what was he doing? He got hurt by her.
So he was trying
She rejected me. So I'm going to reject her when in actuality I wanted her. Make sense? So when he had the courage to say, I'm still in love with you, and then she goes skeptical, and then he goes, because I'm hurt and I don't know what to do with it, another authentic statement. She said, well, so am I.
Right. Yeah, it's funny you say that because I this was a while ago. I was talking to an attorney. There was this case where these parents, I mean, they looked like they hated each other. I mean, they could not.
So what was the face? Show me the face.
I mean, I'm not going to make that face.
Oh,
how much they hated each other. I don't know that I ever got them both in a room together, to be honest. Much
and that's surprising for me for you.
Yes, it was. I still don't. Yeah, no, they refused. Actually, I'm sitting here thinking about it. No,
oh, they refused.
They refused. I've
seen that before. Yeah,
they wouldn't. But I was talking to the attorneys, and I made the comment of like, they hate each other so much. I wonder if they're still in love with each other. And they laughed and they're like, no. And I was like, no, I'm kind of half serious about this, speaking to what you're talking about, because how much time and energy and effort you spend thinking about that person, it almost mirrors how much time and effort you think about somebody when you first fall in love with them.
Ooh, there's a parallel there.
It really is, right? Like love and hate is like right there. So what you're speaking to makes sense. And I think it's really profound to say, like, if somebody's throwing that much hate, like, wow, you must have loved me so much, and I did that to you. Like, just that apology. Do you think that apology or that acknowledgement can speak to their pain of how and that pain and maybe lead to the healing?
The acknowledgement leads to the apology. So when he acknowledged, you hurt me, and she says, you hurt me, they both started going, we've hurt each other. They heard it.
So they were both able to take accountability.
Yep.
And kind of recognize, okay, this is, we both have a role to play in this, and acknowledge the pain that they both caused each other.
She went first and said, I am so sorry. I wasn't trying to hurt you. And then he began to cry just a little bit. And he said, I never wanted to hurt you either. And I looked at both of them in that moment, and I said, I don't know if I'm doing co-parent counseling anymore. What is this? And they looked at me and they said, well, what do we do? Like, you could tell they both were like, we want to figure out how to make this. Is this something we can work on? The problem she had was, if I go forward in this healing process, this healing journey, which is what we're good at, she said, I'm going to get rejected by my family. Because who was funding
because they were funding.
Because they're funding what they believe is in her best interest, which is to get away from this guy, but she still yearns for him too in some ways. So she was in a catch-22. She's like, I don't know what to do. And I looked at him and I said, this is a big risk for her, isn't it? And he looked and he said, yeah. And I said, how can she be guaranteed something to this extent? I don't know, it's probably exactly the way I asked it, but basically, how can she be guaranteed that you're in this? You ain't going nowhere. He goes, you know what he said? Because I'm still here.
So that's really interesting. We talk a lot about patterns, and we talk a lot about like similar cases, and that's how we build patterns. I had a very similar case to that where one of the other counselors was working with the kids, and I was doing the co-parenting, and I'll never forget the co-parents coming in together, and then when they were leaving, they left together, and I didn't realize until later that they, like, when I said they left together, like, they came and they left together in the same vehicle kind of thing.
They left together in the same
truck, right? And I was like, oh. And it's one of those things where in the co-parenting conversation, we talked a lot about trust, about being able to trust the other co-parent, and are they safe? What are they doing? And a lot of their own history came up, and talking about, well, can I trust that he changed? Can I trust that they're doing something different? And really speaking to the past hurt that they both caused each other, and they were able to get past that and acknowledge it. And so the next time I saw them, we really did shift from co-parenting counseling to couples counseling, because that's, and they have since reconciled, is my understanding. And they dropped their suit against each other, and like the kids, and what's so interesting about that, the kids were having such a hard time, but once the parents started to get along, they got better. Like the kids,
it trickles.
Their behaviors, everything got better, and it kind of trickled down.
So I got a lot of things to say on that. Is in what I want to finish with this couple is to say that they began couples counseling. I didn't do it because my role was co-parent counseling per the order. So I recommended they do basically marital counseling. This, I'm so proud of her and proud of him. I'm proud of him for being vulnerable, and I'm proud of her for taking the risk. And her family did exactly what she said they would do. And she went through the process anyway. I was so, like, I shook their hands like, I mean, I shake people's hands like, hey, you know, but I remember when I shook their hands, it was, there was a level of just like, I could feel the love. Like it was an energy. It was beautiful. I'm just really proud of them. I don't know. They don't come anymore and see the counselor they were seeing, but I hope they're doing well. They may not be. I mean, who knows their situation, but I got to watch some really cool stuff happen. I would have loved to have continued to be the one to do the couples work with them, because magic happened in the office. And I think it goes back, you know, how does it happen? Being vulnerable, you know, speak the truth. You know, if a person wants to use something against you, they're not going to ask permission first. So why are you worried about them doing it anyway? Well, they'll use it as a weapon. Well, they're going to do it anyway.
No matter what.
Permission. Yeah.
No matter what you say.
So what if you never give that to them? You'll never know what it could have been. There's a bigger risk there, isn't there? You want to know the biggest regret people have? Is I wish I would have.
Not trying, not putting forth the effort.
The pain of regret, right? It's stronger than the other side. So here's an interesting thing. When you were talking about that couple and people being worried about, oh, I'm not ready, or how do I know? And well, I don't know. And there's no way for me. I can't convince you that you do. If I try to convince you, you're going to feel like I'm manipulating you anyway. Right? Like I told a kid, if I spend 20 minutes telling you I'm a good counselor, you going to think I'm good?
Absolutely not.
And the kid laughed in the session. He goes, nope. And I said, no. And that's my point, right? Like, it's not about convincing you. It's about saying, what is it you need to see in me to know?
What do you need to see, right?
What do you need to see? That's it. Great SFT question, right? Okay. So I saw this quote, and it said, ready is not a feeling, it's a decision.
It's a decision.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I've decided I'm ready to go.
When someone says, I don't feel ready, well, ready's not a feeling. You're never going to feel that.
It's a decision.
Ready's a decision. Have you ever heard someone, when they list out their feelings, put the word ready?
It's not on my feelings wheel that I have in my office.
It's not a feeling. I saw that quote, and I said, and I didn't come up, I remember who quoted it, but they said, ready's not a feeling, it's a decision.
Listeners, if you Google that, let us know.
Tell us who quoted that.
Please.
I like it because it's true. I mean, was I ready to become a parent and ready to get married? I was ready for a new life. But man, I remember being nervous on my wedding day because I wanted to show up for my wife. I wanted to be a good husband. You know, I remember when we talked about having children, I wasn't ready to be a dad. But at the same time, I had to figure it out. And I made a choice, and we became parents. And I'm still learning how to be a parent. I don't think it ever ends. Your kids continue to grow and change, and so you as a parent do the same. Give yourself the ability to be flexible. I think it's another thing. You know, flexibility is huge in solving problems. We talked about that a long time ago on another podcast. When the tree branches can't move in the wind, they'll snap. Yeah, and we've seen people snap before, haven't we? Because I'm like,
more times than we'd like.
There went the flexibility, right? But people construe being inflexible with a boundary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so what they'll do is these couples that are still in love, you know, and they'll set boundaries up to protect, right, that information because they don't want them to know that there's still a place of love in them. And what ends up happening is they actually are pushing away the thing they're actually wanting to have happen.
So if I'm listening to you correctly, part of the healing process of like overcoming this pain and healing that pain is being vulnerable.
Yes.
Right? Speaking the truth of what's actually going on.
Yes.
And the ability to be flexible.
Yes. I think it's all part of healing.
So if you're in a situation or in a relationship where, you know, you are either questioning, wait, am I still in love with this person, or is that person still in love with me? Either or, to kind of heal that pain, you're saying, be vulnerable, speak your truth, and be open to be flexible.
Let it fall as it may. When I remember, this is real personal, but I knew I was falling in love with my girlfriend at the time. And it was one of those things where I was terrified. I had this old like history. I had been cheated on, and I'm loyalty is a big deal to me. And so I guess it's one of my values, and I know that about me. And so betrayal is huge. If I feel betrayed, like that's probably that's where my pain point is.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, long story short, I remember having a conversation with my grandpa. I had this moment where I felt like, hey, this girl, whether she wanted to or not, she may cheat on me. And I remember talking to my grandpa. I could see him, and he could tell something's wrong with me. And long story short, he says to me very clearly, he says, "You really love this girl?" He just asked me, which is no different than what I do in therapy. I ask people hard questions.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me if I loved her. And I said, I think I do. And he says, okay, well, what can you do about it? And if she chooses to cheat on you, what can you do about it? And it's exactly what I did. Nothing.
She's not going to ask your permission.
And that's what he said. She's not going to ask you permission first if she does it anyway. He says, but you know, you can do something. I said, what's that? He goes, you can love her, and maybe she'll love you back. And I love the way he said that. You can love her. It's your choice. You can love her. Maybe she'll love you back.
I think that speaks to the difficulty. I think when you're going through a divorce and you're trying to reconcile or navigate all of that, is that pain, because you are being vulnerable. And
Yes.
it is so scary to do that. But whether you get hurt or not, they're not going to ask for your permission. You're absolutely right.
Well, you're in most cases when we're seeing couples or people come in here, they're already hurt anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, how much more pain can they really cause? Like, I know it hurts already, but like, wouldn't you rather have the chance to say, I wonder if I go vulnerable, if they'll match me? Remember when I told you people set you up to feel what they feel?
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you know that if you go vulnerable, you have actually a higher chance
Of them being vulnerable too.
And there it is.
So that I was working with this this gentleman, and they were going through a divorce. They were kind of reconciling. They were trying to figure out what was going on, right?
Right.
The litigation, but he was kind of moving back in, and he's like, I don't know how much to go or not, because the divorce is still like, it's still down. It's still the courthouse, right?
Yeah.
It's still there. And I asked him, I said, well, if you don't give it your all, are you ever going to know whether you guys stood a chance or not? And he goes,
that was your question?
that was my question to him. And he goes, well, I guess not. And I said, so if you don't, are you going to always have that doubt in your head? What if? And he goes, yeah. It's like, so what are you going to do?
I've wondered if some of the best questions you ask is, what does it cost, or what would it cost, or what do you stand to lose if?
Mm-hmm.
Because people seem to understand the idea of loss much better than what they gain.
Well, what would it take, right? Like how much do you have to lose for it to change, right? I think that speaks deeply to people, right? It's like, what is my cost to do this? But what is the gain, right? It's a cost benefit analysis.
So if I asked a person, how would your life be different if you won the lottery? Right. And
I would be willing to try and find out how that would impact.
You want to do a study?
I would love to do a study.
Anyone that can help us do a study on that, we'd
Listeners,
love to
if
do
you'd
that.
like to help us on that, I'd be more than willing to,
And we'll give you a podcast. We'll give you feedback. Yeah. It's going to be a longitudinal study.
Oh, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll do.
I'm going to need about 30 to 50 years and be happy to get back to you at the end of my life.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Lottery numbers, if you know them,
But
put them
why-
in the comments below.
But watch the alternative question. What would it cost you if you found out you could have been that kind of person but never took the risk to do it? What would that be like for you?
All the questioning, the what if.
Oh my gosh. Because then you're sitting there going, if I knew I could and I never tried.
So I think that what if, that's what like psychically chains you to the past, right? So it goes right back
Yeah,
to the past, and you're stuck there. So you never heal, you never move forward,
Mhm.
and you're stuck there.
Mhm. There's a really cool story about a lady. She the greatest thing she's ever lifted in her life was a 50-pound bag of dog food. Okay, so that's the most she's ever lifted.
It's bigger heavy.
So yeah, they're heavy. She's a grandma, okay? And in the backyard, there's this car that's sitting on some bricks. There's no tires on it, right? It's sitting on some bricks. And her grandson's playing out there in the backyard. Okay, this is horrible. So she's washing dishes. She's looking out the window. She's watching him play. She sees that he gets under the car. She gets a little nervous. She's like, he shouldn't be under there. Well, guess what happens? The car falls, right? She freaks out. She runs outside. You know what she does?
She lifts the car.
She lifts the car.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid crawls out. He's okay. Someone had found out what happened, and someone went to interview her. I don't know if it was a neighbor or if it was the media. I don't know. Someone had come to interview this lady. And this is what stuck with me in this interview. Her response to this question, they asked her, how did you lift that car? She said, I don't know. She said, but I'm bothered by this. And they wondered why. She's bothered by it because she said, I would have never told you I could lift a car. And the fact that I did and I was able to, I wonder what else in my life I could have done if I just believed.
Oh.
When she started to reflect on that moment, she thought, what else have I limited myself to? If I would have just took the chance to take the risk on myself.
Of being vulnerable, putting that out there.
That's what I think I'm trying to tell people that are still in love and divorce. Is like, if I could ever gift you anything, I would say, why not be humble? Why not be vulnerable? Why not be flexible? And let's just see how that develops.
You never know.
You don't know, right?
I mean, you're already getting divorced.
It's already going the other way anyway.
You're already there.
You know,
what do you? I mean, honestly though, what do you have to lose, right? If you're out there, if they're going to weaponize something,
money.
They're going to weaponize anyways. Well, that's a podcast topic in its own.
I will tell you that when people, the harder the cases with divorce, I've learned, is the longer it stays in the system, the harder it gets for you. Because here's what happens. Have you ever done that thing? There was a funny scene in a movie. It's probably not an appropriate movie, but the guy's walking away. He goes, hey, man. He goes, you can always turn around and come back. He goes, nope, too far. Can't turn around now. I've walked too far away. So I can't turn. But people do that, I think, with divorce. They spend so much money that's like, I just can't let it go now.
Look, I've spent time hate watching TV shows that have gone bad. You started on the first 3 seasons of a show and they're really good. And then 4 or 5 seasons in, you're like, this is horrible. But you're going to keep watching it because you've committed to that time. So you're hate watching. It's almost to that degree. I've already spent this money and all this time. I mean, and this is kind of a little bit different, but I've had a kid say, well, why are you now saying that you want to live with dad or mom more now than when before you never said that? Well,
yep.
They spent all this money. So for me to turn around and say something different would be bad. I have to. And so even kids feel that. But I think speaking to your thing is that we get stuck the longer it goes. Well, I've committed to this, so now I have to. Yeah,
so the being love and divorce, if you know you feel that and you stay in a state of resentment, the longer you stay in that, the worse it's going to get for you.
It really does.
Oh yeah, it just becomes a bigger pile of crap that you end up getting clobbered by. You're under this pile of resentment, hate, conflict, money, expenses, attorneys. Attorneys make a lot of money off your hate.
Hate is expensive.
Yes, and they do, and nothing against the attorneys. They're doing their job, and there's great ones. I love working. There's some attorneys I've worked with. I love collaborating with them because they see big picture with their clients, and they're willing to tell their clients. What's one attorney said to me, and I won't use their name either. He said, you can win and be wrong, or you can lose
and be right.
I was like, wow. That happens a lot in family law cases.
It does.
So anyway, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, just so to kind of wrap up, right? If divorce and still in love, to kind of get past the past, right? To not be stuck there, to move beyond the pain and to heal.
Yeah.
Again, be vulnerable, speak your truth, and be open to be flexible.
People need to remember that the past is a version of a story that already happened.
Can't undo it. Can't change it.
The truth to the story is the journey you take next. The story is being written in real time. When you come in and only tell me about the past, you're telling me already what has occurred, and you're telling me something that I can't change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe you want me to understand it, and that's fine. But once I understand it, all I got to do is, well, where are we going?
Well, even that, right? Like now I'm going to change the way I look about the past. That's still moving forward. From this point on, I'm going to
Correct.
view my past different.
Correct. So to get unstuck in the past, you have to realize that it's already back there.
It's done. Mhm.
It's done. Yeah. And let it be there. Let chapter 1 be, it's already written. So, the story still goes. And how would you like to author the rest of the story? Absolutely. Okay. And the next one was pain.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In order to get past the pain is to heal.
Yeah. To get past pain, you have to do the healing part. And healing requires you to do things that are scary, like vulnerability and flexibility. And what else did I say?
You said speak the truth.
Always.
Which that's being vulnerable, right?
Speak your version of truth, of self. People talk too much about the other person. Have you noticed that?
All the time.
They'll come in and tell me what they're doing and why they're doing it and how they're, and we miss out that the only thing they can control is self. Like my grandpa, when he told me that,
Mm-hmm.
he was being very clear. You can't control what they do or don't do. You can control how you respond. And if you love this girl and you choose to love her, maybe she'll love you back.
Maybe.
I have a better chance, don't I? Boy, that was some of the best advice I ever had. It turned into something very special.
That's beautiful.
Well, thanks to my grandpa. Yeah, it is beautiful. He was a beautiful man. He was a wonderful man. Probably my original counselor, if you want to know the truth. Anyway, so anything else that I need to touch on, Armando?
I mean, I think we delve real deep into this, and I think it's hard to be that vulnerable. I think it's hard when you're still in love and you're having to heal from that. And I think the opposite perspective of, when I'm getting this, hey, what's going on? Like, whoa, they really loved me that much that they're doing that to me. They're coming at me that way.
And I think the question that we would probably get asked is, how do I let myself be vulnerable? How do I let myself heal? And you know what I tell people?
I was going to say, what do you say to that?
What I tell them is every decision you make in life is based in only one of two things, fear and faith. And when the fear is stronger than the faith, you'll hide in it. And so you have to decide you're no longer afraid. You don't want to be in the dark anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way through that is to make the decision.
It's a decision.
To be vulnerable.
Ready is a decision.
Ready is a decision, not a feeling. I hope you're ready. Thank you for being here, everyone. Keep moving forward.